What it do, YouTube? Back with another review. Today we're going to review the documentary done on ESPN with Michael Jordan called Last Dance. And we're just going to get into some of the things that I knew, some of the things I didn't know, and then what I think of the documentary so far. Just a disclaimer, they're out on episode 4 right now. I only seen the first 2 episodes, so let's get into it. Alright, so overall so far, great documentary how they put it together. Great foresight on Michael Jordan or the Bulls or whoever to just have the camera crew follow him. Another disclaimer, I grew up in that era. Like I wasn't, I guess that wasn't my era, but I grew up in that era. I was old enough to see MJ like, you know, do his thing, you know, like win those 6 championships and that type of deal. And I was being grown up in LA, grown up in Inglewood to be exact. I was never a Bulls fan, you know, like I can't even say I was MJ fan like to per se, but I have to give it to him. You can't deny what that man, you know, could do on the court, and he just had a popularity that was bigger than the world, you know, bigger than the sport, you know what I'm saying? So just you know, I have to say that because, you know, when we finally got our Jordan and we had Magic, but that was way before my era. I was younger too. And maybe if I was younger for Jordan, I was younger for Magic. But I can remember them playing. But when we finally got our Jordan, Kobe, you know, I can't really even compare. Not to start that whole debate like who's better or not, you know. But it's just my head, you know. You can't. I don't know, like it's not too much comparison to Kobe. I'm like a fanatic, so just, you know, just the Lakers bias, but that takes nothing away from Michael Jordan, absolute beast, GOAT considerably, and you know that documentary kind of proves it. But the comparison, you know, having them the foresight to have Jordan, the Bulls get followed by a camera crew. Also, because say Kobe last season he did it, and I think another year he did it. So that's gonna be coming out. Rest in peace, Kobe. You know. So back to the documentary. What we do know is Jordan. Understand what we do know. What I knew already was Jordan, undersized player, and all the way back to high school. It even was records that, and they kind of confirmed it on documentary that he was cut from his high school basketball team at one point. So that's how far he came in such a short time. But he went from cut on his high school basketball team all the way up to his varsity team, to one of the highest recruited people, I don't know, even in the nation, and in North Carolina. When North Carolina came to scout him, they knew they had something. So he came into a talented team. We knew that he had the likes of like James Worthy. He went on to be, you know, part of my Lakers, Showtime Lakers. Played in Inglewood, Great Western Forum. So legendary, bringing rings, you know. At a point where James Worthy was the best person on the team. But Jordan just surpassed him in such a short amount of time. He was younger, but he surpassed him in such a short amount of time. So we knew they had that dynamic there in North Carolina. So he ended up leaving North Carolina, very highly touted, top 5 talent. The only issue was in that time in the league, a big man was what you're looking for to win championships, to win games. It was dominant. I remember back then, you know, you could just, the big man goes on. Just seeing even the era like during him and after him, you know, Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, you know, all these big men all over the league, and they're putting the team on their back. You don't see too many the smaller players like you would now, but at a different time. But you know, yeah, you knew going in, he was highly touted, like top 5 talent. You just didn't know where the chips was gonna fall during the draft. I just remember looking at, you know, you just look at the draft and it's like, oh, you know, was it 84, right? So you had Olajuwon, number one, Sam Bowie, one of the biggest busts in NBA history, and then Michael Jordan. So I knew that already. I knew that draft was like, the steal for the Chicago Bulls. But yeah, it was. They did a good job putting that together, documenting how the early career of Jordan went. When he went on the Bulls, and it came upon the time, especially in that six ring run. Well, they had three, had a break, and then had another three in the late '90s, mid '90s, late '90s. But I knew the Bulls were dominant. I knew the Bulls were dominant. I used to watch them, and man, why can't why can't the Lakers be like that right now? But they were dominant. About the 69 win team, and just the unstoppable streak, the undefeated stuff. I wasn't undefeated, but they were almost unstoppable at home. Just unstoppable. Period. Losing 13 games, man. It's crazy, but yeah, that's the stuff. That's the stuff I knew already, But they did a good job of drawing that out. What I didn't know, I forgot, was this is more in the realm of didn't know. But all these things I'm about to talk about is I either didn't know or I forgot about it. But I didn't know about the Bulls owner. So at this point, at one point in the career and this run of the Bulls, they had 5 championships. So the owner, Bill Krause was his name, I believe. Yeah, Krause. He was actually thinking about breaking up the team. Like, I don't know. You have the foresight to draft Jordan, probably a GM thing. But you have foresight to have Jordan 5 championships, and you're thinking, yeah, I think we had our run. It's a wrap. I should start rebuilding now, And he had this mentality anyway. You could tell because even later in the documentary, they talk about this is something I forgot as well. Jordan having that rookie season, rookie of the year, and by the way, man, like absolute dog. Like how do you like come? You don't even see that anymore. Like not take nothing away from the players nowadays, but coming out of college, like and just top 3 pick, just starting right away and just dogging the league, like insane. Like doing it with ease. He at one point he was just like. As a transition, it was like, it's been pretty easy. I haven't seen people like Grant Hill say, it's, I'm thinking, like, he's so comfortable in the first half of the season, of his rookie season. He was like, oh, man, this is kind of easy. Then he seen when the grind started, and it started to wear down on him, the 82-game season, and he couldn't even, I say couldn't keep up, but it started getting a little harder. That's when the vets the people that have been around, he's like, okay, this is the big boy league, you know what I mean? Jordan just, the absolute dog in the league, like for rookie season, but he was injured. He got injured the second season going in, and they put that minute restriction on him, and it was killing him. But you could tell he was very frustrated with the minute restriction because he was like, man, I can play, I want to play. So the ownership just, hey, we're just gonna tank. We just gonna tank, get back to the draft and stuff. That wasn't the MJ mentality, I always talk about Mamba mentality, but man, it was the MJ mentality before that. So the Bulls owner want to blow the team up before they won the 5th championship. Just Scottie Pippen. Another thing, didn't even realize, like, man, that contract he signed was bogus, man. Like 7 years, $18 million. One of the top players in the league. You could argue top 5 at that point. Winning all those championships with Jordan. Ain't no championships without Scottie, man. Absolutely robbed, man. It should be criminal. It's in the Bulls' defense. It was negotiated. They kind of warned them about it, but financial literacy, unfortunately, and wrong timing, signing at the wrong time, because right after he signed his contract, that's when the money started coming in. So just if you're not familiar, man, let's look Scottie Pippen up, man. Like I don't even need to, it's not even close. Like if he wasn't on the team with Jordan, like a absolute like top 3 player, he was gonna lead the team, which he had to do at one point anyway. But breaking up the team, so I didn't get that. He just thought that was the time, and it was time to move on. Jordan wasn't having it. He wasn't gonna play for nobody besides Phil Jackson. But behind the scenes, Phil Jackson knew that was his last season, and that just made it more riff with ownership, especially so Scottie Pippen already had his problem. So Michael Jordan, being who Michael Jordan is, teaming up, bullying the owner. It was crazy, man. The owner did not have control of his own team, but hey, it is what it is sometimes, But yeah, those are a few things that I didn't know or forgot about, But it was just interesting to see, and especially at that time you want to blow up. I was about to do this, make history with the 6P, blow the team up. It's crazy, man. Like Jordan was still performing, and it was like to think you would have a chance that you might not move forward and win. Bananas, And last but not least, the cocaine circus, man. That's that powder, man. Like it was I was so caught. Hey, they were what are they talking about? They asked him about coming to the team. So Michael Jordan basically said, whether he's lying or not, like how he came to North Carolina, he was it's kind of sheltered as far as basketball program. They ran a cream program on in North Carolina, but at the time, mid '80s, even in the world, cocaine boom. Reagan era. Just drugs everywhere on the streets. All types of stuff. Drugs, coke, especially was being done socially. So NBA, I do remember that having a bad drug problem. They used to tout it the drug league and all that type of stuff. One took it too seriously. So Michael Jordan as a rookie, getting hazed, getting, kind of singled out, that type of thing. So he was at a hotel one time looking for his teammates. And all his teammates turning up in their room, like they got coke, weed, everywhere, just girls. They just chilling and normal business as usual. And that was part of the deal before Jordan got there. They said the Bulls was never winning because they didn't have a work ethic. They just was partiers, and you hear that about teams after that too. But it was crazy. He said he went in the room. He saw what it is. He said no face, no case. He rolled out. It don't look like he told on his teammates, but that wasn't. You could tell that wasn't his thing. But they mentioned the interviewer was like, "Hey, did you ever remember the Bulls being referred to as the cocaine circus? The road traveling cocaine circus?" And he started dying laughing, and that was funny. It showed the human side of him because then he didn't sit there like, no, I don't know anything about that. Nah, he kind of telling, no, man, I'm gonna count the people he telling on. He didn't tell anybody specifically, but he exposed the team. But hey, he was the team at that point. But so far so good, man. Episode 1 and 2, 3 and 4 is out. I'm gonna check that out, then I'm gonna do a review to that. But man, just a look back. It's like kind of these documentaries like bring back memories of how great these teams were, and just man, like I said, I love Kobe, man. I love Kobe. I love my Lakers and stuff, And I never had that little connection with MJ, but I could never deny it. You know what I mean? And dude was flat out beast, just a dog, man. Like since he came out the gate, man, it's crazy. But I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Stay healthy, be safe, drink water.